All right.
So in the conclusions, this is where you would take time and write another couple sentences about the results from your lab. So you would say velocity 1 was blah blah blah, velocity 2 was blah blah blah, velocity 3 was blah blah blah. This is how they relate. Velocity 3 is in between velocity 1 or 2, or they are in chronological order. Velocity 1 is the lowest, and velocity 2 is the middle, and velocity 3 is the highest, whatever your conclusions were from the lab. Then comes an explanation. In this lab, let's look, our book is very generous. It doesn't want you to miss the points of our labs. If you would open to the green pages on 15. Why do you suppose, and if you, I'm not looking at page 15, if you don't follow what was supposed to be found in lab, after the green part on the lab, there's an explanation on what should have happened. Let's talk for a minute, and then you can read this page later to find out why is it supposed to be slow here and fast here and in the middle here. Let's start with the question, why was it slower at the top than the bottom? You have ideas on that, Brandon?
Because by the time it got to the bottom after the board, and gravity would pull it down.
That's exactly right. So when you release it for a second, it's actually at 0. So it's going to be going faster as it goes down the board. So we'll actually learn why that isn't this year, but it's intuitive right now. So we're expecting a slower velocity here, and it speeds up down here as anything does as it's dropped, accelerating because of the pull of gravity. So why is the whole board then, the average velocity on the whole board, not as high as this, but not as low as this? Why would it be in between? All right, I'm going to leave that question for you to answer, but make sure it finds its way into your conclusions. And if you're not sure, page 15 will make it clear, so read that. So your conclusions are what the velocities are and why. Why are they what they are? The last one is principles used, and if you could help me brainstorm, what are some of the principles that we've learned in class that you've used in this lab? I'll put in one, see if you can add. Measurement with precision. All right, can you think of something else that we could put in this category? Principles used in this lab. What else, Emily?
Could you use averaging?
Yes, definitely. So, averaging is a principle. All right, so far, that's good. I can come up with a couple more, Brandon.
I mean, you were finding the velocity.
Right, so the principles of velocity and displacement was also in it. So I'll add that. Displacement is our version of distance. Velocity and displacement were definitely huge principles that we were finding. But I have measurement, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty close. Anything else you can come up with? Let's see what I came up with. Velocity, displacement, timing. I put time. Timing or time. Measurement with precisions. Calculations with correct degree of precision, and I put units. So be as creative as you can. I'm not going to write them all out, but those are some really good ideas on what to put in that section on principles used. Be as long as you can. Like this one will probably show up in every lab, measurement with precision, I assume. So velocity, not always. All right, so here are the biggest, these are the biggest important parts of the lab write-up. And again, this does not have to be typed, but a lot of my students type it. I find it difficult to type calculations. If you want to mix it up, hand in calculations and then type the rest, But either way, it's a neat presentation. Every written assignment that is collected and handed in the school is now graded on a rubric for writing as well. Have you met that in your other classes yet? All right, this will come to you in every class sometime along this quarter. So, not only do I have to grade this for the information, I have to give you 20 out of 80 points for just the writing. So I'm going to be having to look at spelling, grammar, neatness, and format. I guess format is where that thing comes in. So
With some classes, they make us do it in cursive and pen, but usually like math and science.
yeah, you may use pencil. Of course, if you're going to type it on the computer, it won't be. But all right, look over this rubric. I'm not going to read every square to you. And this is Miss Adams' creation. She's serving us. And it's a way, probably the weakest thing that you find in math and science fields is people's ability to communicate, because they haven't emphasized that in their studies. So if I send you forth as a mathematician or a scientist who can communicate, then you've really gotten something. All right. So look over that. I have to read. This is going to increase the time to grade it, but I'm going to have to look at your spelling. That's one reason to use the computer. You look at your spelling and give you the points according to how many spelling errors you have. So if you miss every single point on this writing rubric, you will have, and you got every single point right on the science side of it, the write-up, you will have an 80 out of 100. So please don't waste points on this sort of thing. So, wish I had that when I was your age. Okay. Questions about the lab? That was enough lab blab for me. Any questions?
Alright, so when we write the lab, you want us to just kind of write it in
Paragraph form.
a paragraph form. Like, how do you write the data in a paragraph?
Data's not. Data and calculations could be just what's in front of you right now.
Alright.
Now, if it's not neat
That's
or
a piece of paper.
organized, and it doesn't have right precision, and it doesn't have units on it right now, and you don't have all the calculations, like all 5 of the seconds and averaged, then you have to work on that. But it could be ready right now to hand in with your lab. But this is the part that I'm talking about will follow the rhetoric writing rubric. So, parts 2, 3, and 4 can just be a list. It doesn't have to be written in a paragraph form, just like I put on the board, principal, comma, principal, comma. So it's 2 and 3 with the stars, where we're looking for good communication. All right, tuck that away, and we will actually do some physics today, hopefully.
So is this our homework?
That will do Friday. Friday.
So the lab's due on Friday.
Right, so you have your day, 4 was it that we mentioned? So there's a little homework spot there. You can put in lab due Friday, or you can put it in your planner or wherever.
Alright, video's done?
I'm going to teach now. Why don't you shut it down and I'll do another part.